Welcome to the RadioU podcast. I'm Hudson.
And I'm Allie.
Coming up, why the key to a happy marriage could be Taco Bell.
Also, should we be worried about the U.S. and their knockout game?
All that and more on the way next. We're going to need your African expertise on this one, Allie.
Oh, really?
8772 RadioU or the talkback button in the RadioU app because we've got to wrangle ourselves a giraffe. Gracie the giraffe has been missing for about 2 weeks now after it's a 3-year-old reticulated giraffe. It went missing. It escaped from Cedar Hollow Ranch in Texas Hill Country about 2 weeks ago, and they haven't been able to track it down since.
Okay.
What do you do when a giraffe goes missing?
Oh.
You've seen giraffes in real life.
I have.
Giraffes. I just switched it to a V like it's a leaf. Giraffes. What do you do? What's the key? How do you tempt a giraffe? How do they lure it back?
I mean, giraffes, they obviously love food, particularly the acacia trees.
Mm-hmm. I've fed a giraffe lettuce before.
Okay,
You think that would work?
Maybe.
It's pretty accessible. Just go to any grocery store.
Yeah. Their love, at least the giraffes I grew up with, their love is the acacia tree.
Okay.
And I think if you could get that would be the particular draw. Like lettuce is a normal everyday thing for a giraffe that's at the zoo.
Okay.
So maybe an acacia tree leaf would be even more appealing.
Maybe that is why the giraffe left. It was tired of its stinking lettuce.
Yes.
At this ranch.
Where's the acacia
and
trees?
Yes, it needed some dessert. It needed some fun.
Yes.
And so it went out looking for an acacia tree.
Yeah, the acacia trees literally have massive thorns.
Oh.
Because giraffes love them so much that they will just continuously eat them. And the thorns are there to protect the acacia tree. And they let out this, it's not a venom, but it's some type of weird bitter flavor.
Okay.
Once the giraffe starts eating the acacia tree, and eventually it gets to the point where it just starts to taste a little off. And it's a way that the tree protects itself. Because the giraffe's tongue is so tough that the thorns just do nothing to it.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay, so how do we get our hands on an acacia tree?
There has to be some place that has it here in the U.S., right? Somewhere.
Would you plant that for landscaping or something?
I don't know if you could.
Only if you wanted to attract stray giraffes.
Yeah. I don't know what type of climate you would need to make sure that an acacia tree stays alive. I don't think it can stay alive in the winter here.
A giraffe-free one.
Yeah, right. Again, they have a pretty good way of protecting themselves against the giraffes. But yeah, I think that's what you need. You need something that's really going to tempt this giraffe to get it back home.
The owner of the ranch and of the giraffe is really obviously trying to get the giraffe back. It says that they've used helicopters, drones, game cameras, and search teams to look for her. Plus, they're offering a $5,000 reward for any information. So, Allie, let's send this to them and give them the acacia tree idea. That might help.
We should tell them.
Maybe they'll give you $5,000.
We should let them know.
But it is crazy. This shows how big Texas is.
Yeah, because a giraffe can just go missing.
Yeah, because almost any other state that if a giraffe was on the loose, somebody would see it.
Yeah.
And there'd be 911 calls being like, hey, I saw a giraffe.
Right.
The fact that you've gone 2 weeks with this giraffe being out in the wilderness. And Allie, do you think it's alive?
I think it could be alive because
it wouldn't have any predators.
Yeah, I was going to say,
it doesn't really have predators in the wild in Africa either, does it?
Lions can take them down, but it's extremely hard. But I don't think there's any type of cat in our wild that would be able to wrangle a giraffe. The only thing that could possibly bring a giraffe down would be a bear, and I don't think there's bears in Texas, right? Yeah, so
coyotes, they don't really hunt live.
If there's a pack, because wild dogs could definitely bring a giraffe down.
Yeah.
If there's a pack of coyotes, maybe they could injure it enough where it would be in a bad position.
Or chupacabra.
Oh.
That's the only answer. But I mean, otherwise unless it's starved to death or something.
Well, there's got to be food, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be trees. It can just eat any tree.
All right. If you see a giraffe, let us know. Microsoft is yet again, stop me if this sounds familiar,
Stop.
raising prices on the Xbox.
Oh, yes, please stop.
Didn't they just do this?
They just did it and walked it back on their Game Pass or whatever.
Yeah, they definitely, yes, Game Pass.
Yeah,
that was
because
a big mistake.
It was a huge miss on their part because they raised it by $10 or something. It was a large amount on the monthly price, and everybody was canceling because they couldn't afford it.
That I remember talking about that. Yeah, over the past a little over 6 months.
Yeah,
they announced they were raising the prices. Then they dropped them back down.
Yes.
And then they came out very recently and said they lost millions of subscribers.
Yeah.
But this is different. This is them raising the price on the Xbox itself. This goes into effect on August 1st. And this is also a big price increase. Every Xbox is going up by at least $100.
Oh my goodness.
If you want to get an Xbox Series S with 512 gigs, that's going up from $400 to $500.
Okay.
That's a 25% increase.
Yeah, that's a
huge.
lot. That's a lot of money.
The Xbox Series X is going up from $650 to $800.
Oh my gosh, a $150 increase.
And the digital-only Series X, which that means you can't put a disc in it, but you can't buy discs anymore.
Yeah, so what's the point?
That's going up from $600 to $750. So, just massive price increases across the board.
Listen, we all knew this was coming when GTA 6 would be finally making its debut and entering the market. We all knew they were going to increase the prices for all of the new consoles.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be forced into buying a new console to play GTA 6. Plus, we just talked about Xbox finally doing what PlayStation has done for years, which is making an exclusive game when it came to consoles, which is the new Gears of War game. It's going to be exclusively on Xbox.
Xbox has really dropped off on the exclusive releases.
Yeah, and now they're trying to do that again because they've realized that actually does help you a lot because it forces people to buy your console.
When you're the only one that's not doing exclusive releases, that is really going to hurt you.
Yeah, you're excluding yourself in that situation. So what this tells me is just stop with the console gaming. Just move to PC. This is ridiculous. It's getting out of control.
Yeah, I know that has its own costs that come along with it.
Yeah, but it feels like the costs aren't as much.
Yeah.
All the time, it feels like you have a lot of upfront costs to get your computer and maybe you can build it or whatever and that would help save you some money. But once you get your computer, maybe you'll be changing out different pieces of it every once in a while. But at least you don't have to buy a new one every time there's a new game coming out.
Yeah, this one just sucks because there's no good reason. It's not like they're adding new features.
Right.
There's a new game coming out that they have some say in, I suppose, of they had to agree to let the GTA 6 come out on the Xbox. But you know what I mean? They didn't do anything to actually make that happen.
No.
And so the idea that they're not changing anything, but they're and you should pay us more.
So you can play this game.
It just makes it difficult to me as somebody that would love to get into gaming more, because I still do game, but it's on, it's older stuff because I just can't afford.
Yeah.
I said to somebody yesterday, they were like, thanks for talking more gaming on the show. I'm like, yeah, we need to increase our gaming budget. And I mean that because I can't. I know. I can't afford this.
I know. I tell my boyfriend all the time, I want to play, one of the games I want to play so bad is Baldur's Gate 3. And he bought it for me, for Christmas or something. I can't play it. My computer cannot handle Baldur's Gate 3. I tried. My computer looked like it was about to die. I cannot play it. And so I just have to wait until I can finally afford to get a nice computer.
And then the negative side of of every console having the exclusive releases, and this has always been true, but it just never gets better, is that you have to have all three.
All of the consoles.
Yeah, if you want to get all of the exclusive releases.
Right.
So, yeah, this hurts.
It does.
Get your popcorn ready. It's our Friday tradition, the weekend watch list on RadioU Mornings, letting you know which new movies you could be watching in theaters or at home this weekend. pretty big slate of movies here.
All right.
At least a couple of big options.
Okay.
Can any of them take down Toy Story 5?
I don't think so, honestly.
Only time will tell. Let's start with Supergirl. When an unexpected and ruthless adversary strikes too close to home, Supergirl reluctantly joins forces with an unlikely companion for an interstellar journey of vengeance and justice.
Ooh.
Supergirl is now in theaters. It has a 58% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hey.
Eric Marchin of Rogers TV says sluggish, incoherent, and no, sorry. Can we cut and start over? Sluggish, incoherent action. Burden, capable star Millie Alcock, who does the heavy lifting to little avail.
Oh, this is honestly pretty disappointing to see Superman get followed up with a movie. Superman, I didn't think it was perfect, but I enjoyed. But to see it get followed up with this, it's like this feels like this DC universe that James Gunn's trying to like start. It's just never going to get off the ground.
Yeah, I feel like it's a watch on HBO Max movie one day.
Yeah.
The trailer looks good enough to where I don't think you would suffer through this. But in a world where you've seen so many superhero movies,
right?
It doesn't sound like it was good enough to like justify you paying a lot of attention to it.
I have heard that Jason Momoa as Lobo's really fun, but he's only in like 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, that's an HBO Max watch for me, probably. Also out this weekend, Best and Last. Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O, and the rest of the gang return for more outrageous and hilarious stunts.
Boy, they're back. They're going to be doing this until they're in like a nursing home.
It's interesting. I mean, this is supposed to be the last, though.
That's true. The best and the last. But do we believe them?
Well, first of all, Best and Last is now in theaters, now 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. But listen to this review from Donald Clark of the Irish Times. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
Towards the close, they joke about Johnny Knoxville yet again, as he did in their previous film, claiming this is the last in the series.
Okay.
Then we hear a blast of, "We'll meet again."
I knew it.
And Donald Clark says, that now feels more like a threat than a promise. It's funny, I've heard more about this movie than I have Supergirl.
Yeah.
At least as of late.
Yeah, people are really not talking about Supergirl, which again is another big problem because Superman, I think, opened with like over 100 million.
Yeah.
Which is why I think Toy Story is safe to be number one again this week. Because Supergirl, while I thought initially she was going to be a big movie this year, I think it's not going to be much of a threat.
Yeah, it's probably a lot about the reviews as well as just, the reviews.
Yeah.
Also out this weekend, Lucky Strike. Trapped behind enemy lines with only a radio, an American soldier must use his wits to outsmart advancing Nazi troops during the Battle of the Bulge.
Ooh.
Lucky Strike is now in theaters. Feels like this should have come out last weekend for Father's Day.
Either that or like for Veterans Day or something.
It has a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes. And look who it is. William Bibiani of The Wrap.
Our favorite.
William Bibiani says, Lucky Strike falls apart at many key moments, revealing narrative flaws the director planted or failed to plant much, much earlier in the film. It is based off a true story, though. Finally, if you don't want to go out this weekend, you could stay in and watch Little Brother, starring John Cena and Eric Andre. A famous real estate agent's life is disrupted when his eccentric little brother unexpectedly reappears.
Okay.
Yes. Little Brother is now on Netflix. It doesn't have enough reviews yet to have a score. However, Alex Harrison of Screen Rant says, in the end, I think I spent less time laughing than I did waiting for the film to be over.
Oh.
And it's supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah, that's not good. Not good for comedic films. Comedic films need some type of renaissance.
Yeah. We need, what was the one that just came out that was like actually, Scream. No, not Scream.
Scary Movie.
Scary Movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow did very well at the box office, but yes, outside of that,
overall comedy not doing
is really
great.
Down,
Nate Bargatze couldn't even break through, and he's like one of the most popular comedians in the world right now.
Yeah. So I was thinking, what would the world look like if we only had like one or two superhero movies a year, and all of that budget and like thought was directed into any other movies?
That's a good question.
At this point, like it makes sense. All the superhero stuff 10 years ago. Now.
I think superheroes are like superhero movies are seeing a decline, like the cowboy western saw a decline. You know what I mean? They were so prevalent, and now it's just like, overall, I think our taste has changed.
And like 40 years from now, we'll be like, why won't they make a good superhero movie?
Well, and I think we will still see good ones made, but they'll be rare, and it'll be more like Matt Reeves' The Batman. And honestly, that's the ones I want. I want the Batman. I want the Joker. I want this weird Clayface movie that we're going to get that's like a horror film. I really don't want the slop of a universe anymore. I'm kind of tired of this.
It's enough. Enough is enough. Let us know what you're watching this weekend. 8772 Radio U. That's your weekend watch list, and we'll see you at the movie. If you didn't stay up late for it last night, that was probably smart, because the United States lost their final game of the group stage at the World Cup to...
Turkey A?
How do you say it?
Turkey A?
How do they want us to say it?
Turkey A, Turkey A, Turkey Nay.
8772 Radio, you're the talkback button of the Radio U app. In the 98th minute.
Yeah.
Why does soccer games aren't even supposed to have a 98th minute?
I think they added, obviously, stoppage time. But yeah, they added... This is what's crazy. They added like 7 minutes of stoppage time.
Yeah.
But then one of the American players, I think, got injured, and so they needed to add like a little bit more time. So technically, the game should have been over.
Rigged.
Should have been a draw.
Rigged.
And no, a U.S. player caused the game to extend, which meant Turkey A had the chance to win. They get to go home today with some of their dignity remaining.
Do you take are there any lessons that can be learned? Because this game mattered nothing at all as far as standings or seeding or anything going forward. Nothing concrete mattered to the U.S. This game was meaningless. But do you learn anything from the game? I
think you should, because while the game didn't necessarily mean anything to the U.S., I still would have liked to. I mean, I didn't watch this whole game. I only watched like the first maybe 3/4 of it. But I would have liked to see it a little bit more, especially in the first half, a little bit more effort from the United States side. They seemed like, because a lot of the main starter guys, they were not starting.
Yeah.
You know,
anybody with a card. Yeah. Because you didn't want them to get suspended.
Right. Especially in a knockout game. But I would have liked to see our young players hungrier for the ball. You know, these are our young players, are getting a chance out there, and it just felt like they didn't care. Yeah. And I also think the fact that granted, one was at the very, very, obviously, the 98th minute, the very tail end, but allowing 3 goals is kind of a lot. It is. And the criticism going into the tournament of the U.S. team was that their defense was bad. Yeah, they're not exactly stacked on the defensive end, so... I don't think they definitely get to play Bosnia in their first knockout game. Bosnia and Herzegovina. They have to play two countries. They have to play 2 teams. Yeah. And Bosnia is carrying Herzegovina, by the way. I think that's what I've noticed. But they're a tough team, and so I think they'll scrap it up with the United States. I don't think it's going to be high scoring. Yeah. But I also don't think that from watching, and I'm not a soccer expert by any means, but the U.S. has a lot of speed and like finesse, and so Bosnia will slow them down, but I don't know if they can keep up. So yeah, that's one of the things that Australia tried to do. They tried to play defense first and like slow the U.S. down, but that only works if you don't let them score. Yeah. Once you let them score, then you have to go. Up, you have to go on the offensive, and Australia just didn't have that, and so we'll see. I think the U.S. has a decent shot at winning this game, which would be massive for them because again, they've only won like one knockout game ever. So this will be huge for them if they're able to win this game. I also don't think, with the very rare exception of like France versus, Cape Verde or something, I don't think any of the knockout games starting, on Saturday or Sundays when they start. Yeah. No matter what the matchup is, there's no guarantee because it's probably just going to go to a penalty shootout. It feels like and you never know what happens there. Yeah, it definitely feels like that's because people just play more conservatively in these knockout rounds because they don't want to mess up. They don't want to put all of their players forward and then have no one on the defense if somebody's able to run and make a run for it. That's fun or that's fine in a way, but then when it
when that forces the game to just come down to penalty kicks, which are basically random,
Yeah.
then you have to wonder, like, maybe you should have just played your game earlier on.
Maybe.
So,
yeah. I'm hoping we'll get some good goals, some Balogun goal, a Pulisic goal. We almost got a Pulisic goal last night when they, for some reason, put him in the game. Don't know why. He's had a calf injury, and the Turkey A players were certainly trying to exploit that. So, but I would love to see him get a goal against Bosnia.
You got to stop, by the way.
What?
It's Turkey.
Turkey A?
It's Turkey.
Turkey A?
Turkey A, Turkey. What? It's Turkey.
It seems like there's a lot of like countries that are doing weird things with their names in this world.
I refuse to do it.
Yeah.
I refuse.
I'm fine with that. Although, and again, we don't have to say it anymore. They're going home.
Yeah, that's right.
They're done.
I won't think about turkey for until Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
On the menu today is the brand new Doritos Late Night Hot Honey Pizza Edition.
Ooh.
They could have just done hot honey.
Yeah.
They could have just done pizza.
Yeah.
They did both.
I think they've done pizza before, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
I do have some bad news before we actually taste these.
Okay.
We're out of fun cups.
No.
If you follow
I
our
wondered
food
why
fights.
why we have them in this cup.
Well, so we have two different actually, we have three different varieties of cups right now. We have
Coffee cups.
fun coffee cups, the padded, insulated ones with sayings on them like time to fuel up or whatever. So we have fun coffee cups. Then we have boring plastic cups that we used to have some with designs on them that were the fun cups.
Yeah.
Those are gone.
Yeah, now we just have plain clear ones.
And then we have these boring coffee cups.
But it feels fitting that we're using the boring coffee cups because, like, the real nice coffee cups should be used for actual coffee.
And oddly enough, we don't use the disposable. We all have mugs and stuff if we drink coffee, so we don't use the disposable travel ones very often. But so that's why I use these.
Okay.
I was trying not not be wasteful.
Okay.
These need to go to some kind of use. So let's get to actual point, which is trying the Doritos Hot Honey Late Night Pizza.
It definitely smells like pizza.
It super smells like pizza.
I feel like the smell I'm getting. Have you ever had the Pringles that smell like pizza? That are like pizza flavored?
That taste like pizza? Yeah.
They smell like
or
pizza.
pizza combos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely smell like pizza. And this reminds me of that smell from those like Pringles.
You go first. I'll read the bag.
Oh, read the bag.
Yeah, I'll read the bag.
Okay.
Doritos says late night flavors. One bold crunch. Taste the night.
Taste the night.
Taste the night.
Taste the night away.
Yeah. Well, how is it?
It's very good.
Really?
I don't hate it at all. It's hot honey, but weirdly like not really a lot of honey and more just pizza.
That's always my problem.
Yeah.
With hot honey stuff. You want it to be good. I want it to be good. And it's not like it's bad, but it's just like hot honey sounds like I get a sweet honey with like a little kick. And usually it's like mostly heat and not enough of the honey aspect for me. It's just sticky hot sauce, basically.
Right. These aren't very hot, though, like as far as spice level. So you don't need to worry if you have a low spice tolerance. These would be similar spice to like the purple Doritos, the chili ones, which are my favorite. These don't come close to that as far as like the best Doritos in my opinion, but they're not bad. They're not a miss. Like I really
like these.
Yeah, I could down a bag of these no problem.
They're not an all-time favorite Dorito like you said, but I also feel like I've eaten a couple more now because I feel like it's important with chips. What I've come to realize is one chip doesn't give you the experience of you never eat just one chip.
Yeah.
And so you have to eat several to like find out how the flavor is going to stick with you. And so these do have actually a surprising amount of heat. The slightest, ever so slightest sweetness.
Yeah, just a little.
It's mostly a pizza flavored Dorito.
That has a little bit of a kick.
Obviously, that sounds pretty good. So.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. And like I said, I could definitely enjoy a whole bowl of these Doritos and not have any issues.
Actually, here's what I can say. I think this is the best hot honey anything I've ever had.
That's a good improvement. Yeah. Yes, the standard might be low, but you know what?
It is for me.
That's a good improvement.
I really like these actually. They're not the best Dorito I've ever had, but they are in the conversation of like a really high quality Dorito.
Yes. And what isn't a high quality Dorito?
Yeah.
Doritos are just, they're good. It's like the Oreo thing that we always talk about. They don't miss.
Even if it was the worst Dorito I've ever had, it'd still probably likely be pretty good.
I'd still eat it.
But I do want more of these. Late night, hot honey pizza Doritos. Well done. We need your advice for this fired or hired situation at 877-2-RADIO-U or with the talkback button in the RadioU app. We have a guy who says, I'm moving from coast to coast for a job, but family and pets are an issue. What do I do?
Oh.
He says, my parents are in that stage of their lives where they're transitioning to becoming old sooner rather than later.
Becoming old. What a way to describe it.
Did you always think your parents were old?
No, I've never thought that they were old.
I always thought my parents were old. Not like seniors, but like when you're a kid, I was like, my parents are old.
I was always
They just always seem old to you.
I was always an old soul, so I've never viewed people as old. I don't know why.
I definitely thought my parents were old, but I thought their friends were like really old.
Really?
Yeah. Anyways, he says maybe 10 or so years before they become quote unquote old.
What are you? Okay.
I have a good relationship with both, but we butt heads with certain things like chewing with your mouth open and stuff like that.
Okay.
Interesting example.
What an odd thing to be, butting heads about.
I would be, if that's your worst problem though.
That's
like
not that
you guys
bad.
get along pretty well.
Right.
I would be leaving them alone and going to the other side of the country for a law enforcement job in hopes of getting myself set up for retirement and helping them out as well.
Okay.
Along with this, I have a cat, which my parents do not take care of well at all. They love him, but do not deal with the vet unless it's basically close to death.
Whoa.
So there's that. And a stray who's been coming to our door for a few years now finally opened up to me and slightly to my mother, and she is super affectionate, like nonstop headbutt after a few years. And I'm not sure what to make of this creature that finally opened up to me after years of possibly a very hard life to just walk away.
Aww.
I don't know what I'm really looking for here, but any advice, insight, input is appreciated.
On what to do. Moving across the country away from your parents. Probably for the first time because seems pretty young. Mm-hmm. And, you got some pets and it's one of those things where you have to try and decide, can you move your pets across the country? That's not easy to do.
Mm-hmm. 877-2-RADIO-U or the talkback button in the RadioU app to get your advice in for this fired or hired situation. Young guy living with his parents. Has an opportunity for career advancement, but across the country doesn't want to leave his parents and his cat, who they don't take care of well, and a stray cat who just opened up.
Yeah.
877-2-RADIO-U. RadioU, where music is going. 877-2-RADIO-U or the talkback button in the RadioU app to share your advice for this fired or hired situation. We have a young guy, 21 years old actually, who has an opportunity to move across the country for a job in law enforcement that he says would probably help him set up for retirement and helping his parents out. But he says, this is the quote, his parents are the stage in their lives where they're transitioning to becoming old sooner rather than later.
I don't know why, but that description just cracks me up.
Maybe 10 or so years before they become old. Is the quote.
Are they going to be like 85? Like
he's 21. So
you're 21. They can't be that old. Come on, buddy.
They also have a cat that he says they don't take care of well. And a stray cat that has been coming to their door for years that has finally opened up to him.
Yeah.
What does he do? He doesn't want to abandon everybody, but he wants to take this opportunity. What should he do? 877-2-RADIO-U or the talkback button in the RadioU app.
We heard from Max. He said California has cats too. And the cats will be dead by the time you retire.
Yeah. Honestly, you cannot plan your career around cats.
Nope.
Unless you're going to work at a cat cafe or something.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
But your pet cat cannot dictate your life at 21 years old.
It definitely cannot. And I feel like, even though you said you can't take the cat with you, I think you probably could. I think you can figure out a way. If you can have an apartment and it's like cat friendly or whatever, and you are allowed to have cats there, you can move a cat across the country.
Yeah.
You got to take your car. So you'll probably be driving anyway, so you can get your car.
Regina literally said, those cats are now yours. That's how the cat distribution system works.
Yep.
We took our cat, who we'd had for a day, but she knew my husband longer, across several states after the first day we had her. It was an adjustment, but she's an inside-outside cat, and she always comes home. Cats are fairly low maintenance. You just got to get a good system down at your new place.
Yeah, that's another thing is like, it's not like it's a dog where, let's say this guy's working really long hours, which most of the time in law enforcement you would be. And so you don't even need to worry about like who's going to let the dog out while I'm at work during the day. With a cat, you don't have to worry about that as much. Now, obviously you can't be gone for days, but you can make it work with a cat.
You could. My parents have a cat. They just went away for over a week.
And left the cat?
And left the cat without anybody coming over to check on it.
Wow.
And it's fine.
Yeah,
and they've done this so many times.
Cats they're pretty resilient.
As long as you leave it enough food that it won't, like if you're leaving long enough that it runs out of food, that's a problem. But other than that, if you leave it enough food and water, it's going to be fine.
Yeah, they make those little automated auto feeders and automated fountains that like constantly refill with water. And that's like actually healthier for your cat to use than just a regular bowl. So you can make this work, believe me.
Sometimes I think cats are happier when you leave,
I don't know if that's always true. My dad says that my cat, whenever I'm gone, like immediately goes to the door and starts meowing and like waits for me because she knows when I'm supposed to be home and she'll wait for me by the door.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Arthur says maybe he meant early retirement.
Maybe, because 21 to be talking about a retirement is pretty impressive. But I guess that is the time you should be thinking about it.
Yeah.
The earlier, the better.
Jen says, honestly, I'm a counselor, so I feel like I'm cheating, but it sounds like there's underlining fear that he really doesn't want to go. And maybe that fear of, being on your own for the first time. So it sounds like excuses.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't think about that.
It is hard to move out on your own for the very first time.
It is. And I guess you have this opportunity. Okay, here's what I was thinking. You're 21, so I don't want to say this is the last time you'll ever get this chance.
Yeah.
But you can't count on how many chances, if it's a really good opportunity, you're going to get for that.
Right.
So if you want to really set up yourself for success for you to retire, to take care of your parents, you probably just want to take the opportunity.
Yeah.
And for me, I was just talking about this with somebody, that most people are very risk averse, and you wind up living with your parents or in the area of your parents. You never want to leave your family, which has a lot of benefits, but because you're afraid to leave your core group, that can lead you to miss out on a lot of stuff that could lead you to a lot of success. So that's just the debate you have to weigh.
Right.
But like if your parents are 10 years away from becoming old, then go try this out for 10 years.
Yeah.
And make some money before, you really need to take care of them.
Right. And
you're 21. They can't be that bad.
And the cool thing about law enforcement, those type of jobs are available everywhere in the country.
Right.
And so you could go take this opportunity, gain some experience, prove yourself in the field, and then find a law enforcement job near your parents and move back there. Like if that's what you ultimately want to do when they get old or whatever, so those type of jobs you'll find those jobs anywhere.
And you're talking about wanting to, take care of your parents or whatever. Did they ask you to do this? Like, cause they're not old enough.
Right.
If you're 21, they cannot be old enough.
No.
To where like.
They gotta be like in their late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah. And even if they're older parents, like they just cannot be in a situation where they're losing their faculties or whatever.
Right.
So unless they ask you like, hey, and then if they did, that's still kind of problematic to be like, hey, never leave us at 21 years old.
Right.
So I feel like you gotta kind of jump out of the nest here.
Yep. Spread those wings.
And if you don't do it now, I'm concerned you never will.
Yeah.
Radio U, where music is going, 8772 Radio U. It may be time to say goodbye to two colors of M&Ms.
Okay.
8772 Radio U. This is crazy. This is so crazy to me. M&Ms, as they try to remove artificial dyes from their products.
Okay.
With the new food, drinks, and candy rules.
Yeah.
They are, at this point, having to eliminate the blue and brown M&Ms.
The brown M&Ms!
And because at the moment, they cannot find a natural replacement for the dyes used that make the M&Ms look blue and brown.
You would think the brown would be easy.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The M&M inside is already brown.
Yeah, it's chocolate.
Or is it?
What do you mean?
Well, if they can't make the outside brown, how are the insides brown?
Well, I mean, cocoa is brown, like chocolate.
So why can't
brown?
you just use that, or
That's
make the
what I'm
M&M
wondering.
just make the brown one translucent, make the coating translucent?
Yeah, maybe that's what they'll do. I
Yeah.
don't know. Oh my gosh, this makes me think of Wayne's World.
Yeah, but it doesn't really say. It really doesn't make you particularly reassured. Not that I'm probably not as concerned as many people that like, oh, the blue food dye is poisoning me or whatever.
Yeah, no.
One, I just don't eat that many M&Ms, but two, like, I don't know how bad could it actually be?
How bad could it possibly be?
Exactly. But it's not particularly reassuring that it's like, this blue is so unique. We can't find anything in nature.
Find anything to make it.
Edible in nature that could possibly recreate this.
Yeah, I think if companies admitted that, we would be maybe a tad bit more worried about the food we're eating.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't know if they're creating this blue in a lab, and I guess that's what they've always pretty much done. I feel like I'm doing okay. You know what I mean?
I think so too. Everything in moderation. It's not like my whole diet is M&Ms.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there's people, licorice isn't even like chemical, right? But there's people that have been poisoned because they eat so much licorice.
Oh, really?
When you eat enough of anything.
Yeah.
But that one's particularly dangerous.
Well, like, think of the most healthy thing that you're supposed to drink every day. You're supposed to drink like 8 cups of water a day.
Yeah.
There's such a thing as like getting drunk on water and like drowning in your own body because you had too much water. Like it takes a lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everything in moderation because too much of even a good thing is bad.
Yeah. So okay, then here's the question. Should M&Ms just keep on making the blue and brown M&Ms even if they have chemical compounds in them that aren't real, or should they just not make them anymore?
I mean, if it's breaking the law, don't do it. But I wouldn't have had any issue if they kept making the brown and the blue.
Yeah. But also, it's not even like it's for taste or anything.
No.
It's purely visual.
It's definitely all
it's also
aesthetic.
Purely pretty much unnecessary.
Yep.
The bags aren't even see-through.
Yeah.
So you're only seeing them after you've already bought it.
How crazy. What are they going to... The bag itself is brown, though. So,
Yeah.
like, what are they going to do? Are they going to change the color of the regular bag?
Wow. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Can they make the bag of M&Ms a color that's not in the M&Ms?
I mean, technically brown's still there because it's chocolate.
Yeah.
But
This is something that's being debated in M&M boardrooms right now.
their marketing is panicking.
Yeah, exactly. And we saw it went for Cracker Barrel. We cannot change the packaging.
We can't do
We
it.
cannot do it. European tourists coming to the U.S. for the World Cup. Hasn't been all fun and games.
Okay.
8772 Radio U, or the talkback button in the Radio U app. Obviously, I mean, first we had the Scottish fans, the Tartan Army, drinking cities dry. Now we've also had a bit of culture shock from the Europeans, where in Europe, it's not common to tip on your, restaurant order, or your bar tab or whatever. And so many Europeans have not been doing this to the point where, according to the New York Post, restaurants and places in World Cup host cities such as Kansas City, Atlanta, and Philadelphia have started adding automatic 20% gratuities onto the bills.
Yeah.
Just so that they can, make sure that their staff is actually getting paid the way they probably should be, and not missing out on money because Europeans just aren't used to tipping.
Yeah, it's not common for them. I don't blame them for not knowing how to do it. That's just not something in their culture.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I don't blame the restaurants for adding the 20% gratuity because if you don't know how this works, a lot of times if you are a tipped employee, you are not paid the same rate as somebody that's not tipped.
The minimum wage is different.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this can turn into a happy accident.
Okay.
I think why don't we just use this as a little opportunity for us to just start adding that 20% in, for the restaurants to start adding that 20% in, so we can stop with this nonsense of tipping.
You mean like having to do the math yourself or whatever?
I don't really care about the math. I just think it's a ridiculous practice, and I think Europe has gotten along fine without it.
Yeah.
My only thing anti getting rid of tips is they switched it, right, to where there's no taxes on tips anymore, right?
Yes.
So I would be a little thoroughly upset if I was a tipped employee and now they're going to start taxing my whole thing.
Yeah.
But I just think it's simpler because I always, most people tip just fine.
Yes.
But it always drives me crazy that somebody that's just upset or that just isn't, that where the gratuity isn't automatically added on and they're just like, I didn't like the server for some reason.
Right.
And then that means they're missing out on money.
Yeah.
And sometimes, maybe the server isn't doing a good job, but that's not always the case.
Yeah.
And hardly any other job where where you already have a boss, but then somebody else is also deciding whether you're
determining your pay.
Yeah, your salary or, your wages is kind of ridiculous to me.
Yeah, but also it's a service-based industry and there should be an incentive to do a good job. You know what I mean? And I think that incentive
the incentive is to not get fired.
Yeah, but I think the incentive of getting a good tip should be there as well. But the problem, as you pointed out, is that doesn't necessarily translate to everybody across the board because everybody has a different view of what even is a good job at service.
Yeah.
I feel like my standards are pretty basic. I'm like, fill my drink.
Yeah.
Bring my food, don't be mean or whatever. And I'm usually very nice. I say thank you and please and all of that. But I know there are some people that just are going to be rude to the server no matter what they do.
Exactly. And just some people that aren't good tippers. And it's just a luck of the draw for everybody where just almost every other job is you get paid. And again, around the world in Europe, obviously they do this just fine. You don't have to tip anybody.
Right.
And everything hasn't come crashing down.
Yeah.
It's not like everybody in Europe is like, oh, I hate going to a restaurant because the servers suck.
Right.
So I feel like this is kind of an archaic thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how we landed on it.
I
think
either.
we can move on.
But I also I went to a restaurant just this past weekend in Mohican, Mohican State Park here in Ohio. And we had a big party, 16 of us basically. And they put an automatic gratuity on there because it was such a large group that it was serving. I still added a little bit more to the tip because I was like, they did a good job and we had a massive group of people.
That's the other thing is if they already added, if it was just included in the prices and then you still wanted to add on, plenty of people would still do that.
Yeah.
But the idea that, somebody gets on a power trip and it's just like, I didn't like the way they said hello to me.
Yeah.
You can tip less. Feels like that's not really something that, occurs in any other walk of life.
Yeah.
And so it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I would love that this is the moment that, we've obviously taught Europe about a lot of things during this World Cup. Maybe this is one that we can learn from them.
The European servers are listening to this and they're like, please bring the tips to us.
This is relationship goals right here. 8772 RadioU or the talkback button in the RadioU app. An 81-year-old couple, Mickey and Joanne Muhlstein, just celebrated 60 years of marriage.
Wow.
Which is obviously impressive no matter how you slice it. But the way they celebrated is amazing.
Okay.
They celebrated by renewing their wedding vows at their favorite Taco Bell, where they've been eating lunch every day for the past 12 years.
Every day?
They lived to 81 eating Taco Bell every day for 12 years.
Man, that's the recipe for success I'd like to hear.
Yeah. This is why I just feel like in a way I'm just like what you do doesn't matter. They can
it's all genetics.
Yeah, Taco Bell is bad for you. Oh, yeah? Then how do you eat it every day for 12 years and live to 81?
Yeah.
With no signs of slowing down.
Yeah, they seem totally healthy.
And this is crazy, though, because so they renewed their wedding vows at their favorite Taco Bell. They had friends and family gather for the ceremony, which was officiated by a Taco Bell district manager.
Let's go. They probably know them by first name if they go there every day.
Yeah, I've worked at restaurants where there's them people that, they're going to be there every morning. You'd be concerned if they weren't, and you know their name and their order and everything. And it definitely sounds like that's these two.
One of my favorite things in the town that I lived in when I was in college, there was a local McDonald's. There was a group of veterans that met there every morning. And so anytime I was there in the morning, I would always see them. I would always thank them for their service and say hi. They never remembered who I was, even though I saw them many times. But, oh, man, it was so fun just to see. You just knew things were right in the world when you saw that group meeting.
I had a similar experience this week when I was at Niagara Falls. Me and Mrs. Hudson went out one morning to a Tim Hortons.
Okay.
And actually sat in and had coffee. They had the tables were like hockey rinks.
That's so cool.
I know, it was so cool. But there was multiple groups of like old retired men sitting in there, and you could tell this is where they come here.
This is where they meet.
Maybe every morning, maybe every week at least.
Yeah.
And they come and they have their coffee at Tim Hortons, and they know all the employees and whatever. And I was like, I hope I have friends by the time I'm that age, so that I can have that experience.
I hope I'm a part of that group someday.
Yeah, but for this two, Mickey and Joanne Muhlstein, 81 years old, married for 60 years. They had their own personalized vows that they renewed. Mickey said their relationship is like Taco Bell sauce levels. We love each other like Diablo sauce. It doesn't get any hotter than the love that we have for each other. And Joanne promised that she would stand by him through their later years.
Aww.
And then Taco Bell is going to reward them with free food for life.
Yes, I was going to say, please tell me Taco Bell did something special for this couple.
Besides just officiating their wedding renewals.
Right.
But that is a decision I feel like they will regret, because these couple comes in every day.
Yeah, they do.
It's going to cost them a lot of money.
They have to limit it somehow, right? It'll like be somewhat limited.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's not like they can just eat up the whole store, but still, like, you come in every day, even if you're just getting a chalupa for free.
Yeah.
That adds up.
It does, but these are your most loyal customers.
I guess all the money they've made off of them in the past 12 years.
And all of the publicity. That's free publicity. We're talking about them right now.
I know. So hopefully this is me and Mrs. Hudson one day.
Yeah.
We renew our vow. If I had to choose,
Yeah, where would you go?
Popeyes.
Hello. Does Mrs. Hudson love Popeyes as much as you?
It's fine. It is her name. Not as much as me, but I mean, nobody loves Popeyes as much as me.
That's true. Thanks for listening to the RadioU podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.